Lucky for you, today is a short video and it's going to be on farming AC or armor class augs in the Gates of Discord. The armor class augs are something long sought after mainly by tanks. They are not useless for other classes, but it is rarer for them to be farmed by those classes. On the server that I'm on, Mischief, you can trade these, so these are all available in the bazaar. On other servers, there will be no drop, and you will actually have to come out here and farm them yourselves, which can be a pain in the ass. So there are 4 total AC augs that we're going to farm, and they are all one groupable. One of them will take a pretty solid group to do in some strategy, but they can all be done with one group in the era, meaning that if Gates of Discord is the last expansion, you're level 65 with Gates of Discord AA, and some decent gear that you can do these with one group. So there are 4 augs, 2 in each of the zones of Kod'Taz and Ixta, or Ixta, whatever you want to call that. First 2 in Kod'Taz are going to be the Opaque Sapphire Bulwark and Ashen Claystone of Aegis, and those are both 20 AC augs. And then in Ixta, we're going to be looking at the Blessed Shard, which is 30 AC, and that's where you're going to need that really one group, a really good one group. And then the Scar Token of Resistance, which is another 20 AC AUG. So we'll start with a map of KT. And what I've done, because I also like to get some experience and I roam around with more than one group most of the time, is I made a little farming path where you can hit a lot of PHs in one route. You can also pick out individual mobs and sit on them. There are a lot of different spawn points besides the ones on the map, but I do an actual route. So in KT, when you enter in the northeast, you can see marked on the map are red pentagons, some light blue pentagons, and then I got an oval. I will start on that right, hit that first temple spawn point there for the Opaque Sapphire, and I will kill that, and then I will head west, killing Hyenids and Cragbeasts on the way because you can't really avoid them. Then I'll go northwest and do the same thing, clear out all the Hyenids and Cragbeasts. And then at the top of those temples, if you see in the north, the west, and the south, there will be a Kiv type mob with a bow. They're really fast, PH there. And if you kill those, just the one on the top there, I think you have to normally kill the 2 guards to get them down unless you split it. You're going to be looking at trying to spawn, it's a Exit Mark Maker. So that is one of the PHs that will spawn there. And then if you look on the west side here, just to the east, the far west one, there is another PH there that can also drop the Opaque Sapphire, and that is a Pixed Battle Strategist. So you can see, looking at this map, that there are 5 red pentagons. Each of those is a chance to drop the Opaque Sapphire. There's only 4 markings for the Ashen Claystone of Aegis, but there's a lot of PHs in some of those zones because you're basically going to walk through like a whole mess of like Hyenids, and then the Cragbeasts are going to aggro you naturally. So if you keep those big areas clear, the 2 big pentagons and just the oval, you can just farm in a circle there if you want. But I have enough DPS where I can actually go all the way to the east, to the west, then up around, get the temples, back around to the southeast, and you don't have to, but the very southeast one, there is actually another named in there, but there's four in that room, and sometimes it gets a little bit tough to split. I think it's the Enslaved Vrax Zealot, and that has a chance to drop the Ashen Claystone as well. Now, there are other mobs that will drop that AUG. So like the Subjugated Brawler is another one, but he sits mainly in a temple, and a lot of people don't want to be climbing up that main temple there and run around because it does get really dangerous. Stuff kind of hits hard when you're in era. There's a lot of other mobs that drop the Opaque Sapphire too, so some people will actually pick a spawn point, and you can use Brewell's or Brewell's maps, and you can find one spawn in a temple, and you can just keep that one spawn clear and come back and check every 15-20 minutes. But like I said, when I play, I'm getting experience at the same time, and I'm trying to collect meld stones and other random stuff that drops, so there's potential to get like 7-8 PH areas following that route if you can make the whole thing. It does require a lot of DPS to make the whole thing, but even if you just clear some of the Hyenids and hit each of those temple ones in the west there, like the northwest and south, you get 3 PHs there, and you only clear one area of the Hyenids, at least you got a chance to get those. So it really depends on what you're farming. And then so that's KT. So the other zone that we're going to look at is a lot easier in deciding where to go because there are very few drops in that zone. So the next zone we're going to look at is Ixta, and this is really straightforward. The Blessed Shard drops from one of the 3 primals. Those 3 primals are easily one groupable if you know what you're doing. I'm not going to go over raid strategy because you can find them for each of those mobs, but they are one groupable. I've seen people use 4 or 5 for some of them. It just takes longer. The easiest one to me is the Primal Reptile, as long as you can remove the Greater Curse, because it has like a slowing effect and such. But if you bring some Rangers, it doesn't even touch them. And then the blessed shard you'll see will be off those 3 pentagons in the southeast area of this map. You will have to do the riddles to get beyond the door. If you're not familiar with the Ixta riddles, you can also Google that. There's all kinds of guides on how to get that door open. Sometimes you get lucky and the door is open, but mostly you're going to have to open that door yourself because those mobs are heavily farmed in era. And especially on Mischief, the stuff's all tradable. So on a regular server, some of that stuff may rot if you get multiple blessed shards, because you can't pass it from one character to the next. But you're pretty much going to have to instance that zone yourself with your own group or a group of friends and go and kill those once a week and see if you can get a blessed shard to drop. The other one is a scarred token of resistance, and Mischief is weird because it's got the random loot. So those Master Destroyer is the mob that actually drops it, and if you go to the southwest there's 4 golems and then an eye cave or IKAAV, like one of those like lizard looking things in the center. That room is really hard to break. I have the actual Gates of Discord AE mez, so what I end up doing is I will pull them in all at once and then hope the mez. I do it with my paladin, use lay hands, and I do it that way. But you probably want to try to split that room and then keep the splits down because you really don't want to be fighting those 5 at the same time. Each one of those golems can actually spawn a Master Destroyer. I've had 2 of them up at once from there. And the funny thing on Mischief is I've actually, because they're linked to the mobs with the opaque sapphire, one of them at least. So you might actually get this token on, if you're on the Mischief server, you might actually get this scar token, which is really hard to get killing some of the other named mobs over in KT. But I've actually gotten 2 opaque sapphires and only 1 scar token of resistance this round, and I've probably done 100 kills. So that was kind of like a strange thing because, you know, you're coming to spawn these Master Destroyers to get this 1 AC aug, and you're getting other ones that I've already farmed. I already farmed it up. But lucky on Mischief, you could just sell it or pass it to another character. So those are the 2 that are in Ixta, and they're pretty straightforward. One thing that I will point out is be careful if you're AFKing after you clear those spawns in the southwest, because it is by the Ixta raid, and you will get trained to shit. So if you're gonna leave someone up to like watch the spawns, at least camp your cleric out so it can come in and res if you do get trained. But that's basically it for this guide. AC augs are pretty important. These ones will be pretty important for a while, at least to Dragons and Norath after Omen's War. They may go into part of depths until more AC augs start to fill, but they're not bad to have. 20 and 30 AC. Later in the game, they'll all get replaced, but that's pretty much the guide. So if you have any questions or specific spots that you farm, especially in KT where you're getting the aug at, I know some people have had some success just sitting on 1 mob in like the southeast corner, and then I think there's another wanderer in KT too that is farmed. But go ahead, hit me up in the comments and let me know where your favorite farm spot is for these augs. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy this.